Anthony Hartwig here with the Lisbon Boys Basketball Coaches Corner / season preview. We're so excited for the basketball season. We got Chris Huckshold, the head coach of the Lisbon Boys team, with you. Coach, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to jump in with you. Sorry I was a little late, but glad I'm
You're
here
all
now.
good. I appreciate the time. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about not just the roster this year, but first let's just recap last year. Some of the things that you learned from last year's team, and some of the things that you think last year can fold into this year from.
Well, I mean, last year, it was a weird setup for me. It was like one of the first times I didn't have a senior on the team.
Mhm.
So, bringing everybody back and knowing all the kids and where they fit in, and then, just trying to improve individually as a player and as a team. Those are kind of the things that carried over from last year. We had some good positive things, but we had some injuries that kind of hurt us at bad times last year, depth wise, and it's carried over to this year. I got a couple kids that are still banged up coming out of football.
Obviously, with a season with no seniors, you probably went through some adversity last year. How much do you think that's going to help you this year? I mean, everybody's experienced this year now. Everyone has that varsity time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, a few of those guys that, I mean, Trevor played since his freshman year. Hunter played his sophomore year. A lot of those guys had varsity experience prior to last year, but still, it's every year you grow and you get older in the basketball world and as a person, you can deal with the problems. One of our biggest things I always try to say is like, guys, you can't fix what happened behind you. You can only fix what's in front of you. And I heard an acceptance speech the other day, and it's kind of turned into our motto here. What's bigger, the windshield or the rearview mirror? And that's kind of one of them things. Like, hey, don't let those problems. If you make a mistake, just go fix it. Let's get the next one. Get the next one.
Let's have a meet the team segment. I want you to go through your roster and shout out the names and the people that we have to know when we're coming down to Lisbon.
Well, we got 6 seniors there. You got Trevor, obviously, 1,000 point scorer last year back. And then the Daily boys, Hunter and Austin. Hunter's very skilled, big guy, does a great job. And then his brother Austin, a little banged up coming out of football, but I'm hoping that he continues to get healthy, and I think he can still contribute a ton. Athlete, and does what he does. Logan Stauffer had a great football season as a wide receiver, can shoot the ball and do some things. Tate Wallen, another inside threat that does a good job and hustle plays and stuff. And then I got Alex Schreffler, who's still dealing with some injuries coming out of football as well. But he hopefully we can get him back and going. He can shoot it, and he gets hot. Some things happen. And a couple new guys that I could see. Luke Kraft, who played a ton of varsity last year, and he will contribute a bunch this year. And then I got a couple of young guys, Alex Brown and Blaine Barnes, that might be able to see some time as well in the right situations.
Yeah, that's the question. When you're going through this roster, obviously you have so much experience. What do you tell these young kids that are coming in? Maybe they want to compete for a spot too, but it might feel like to them like, hey, these spots are locked down. I mean, are all spots still open? Do you still have that mindset even with so much experience in the team? Do you still tell these young kids like, hey, if you're working harder, if you're putting in the time, that spot's still wide open for you?
Yeah, I think if you're around the Lisbon program long enough and played for me and see, I'm not that guy. If you give me a better chance to win, you give us a better chance to compete on a Tuesday or Friday. We're going to put you on the floor. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I always tell kids, man, compete, compete, compete. You never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, the day and age, kids get hurt, things like that, and sickness and different things. Talking to a lot of coaches over the last week, it seems like a lot of coaches are in the same boat we are, with a couple kids out and injuries and things like that. You never know, and everybody's got to be prepared and ready to jump in at any time.
All right, Coach, let's talk about your schedule. Obviously, you play in a very tough EOAC. We'll start with the conference first. What do you expect out of it when you look around the league? What do you kind of see out of these teams, and what can you expect out of it this year?
Well, I think the league is what it is. It's a balanced league, a lot of same size schools, and I think if you go out and you don't play well, you'll get beat. Most all the teams are the same. They got one or two very skilled kids that would be considered their best players. And if one of them kids would happen to get hurt, next thing you know, that team that somebody thought was the favorite, next thing you know, they're in the middle of the pack. Night in, night out, you have to go and play. The coaches all have their teams ready to go, and it's just a dynamic. You don't shoot well, turn the ball over, have a bad night, you're going to get beat. And it's happened. It happens every year. There's always a few games where you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It happens. It's happened to us. It's happened to other people in the league, and you just got to be prepared for it. I mean, there's a few teams that are kind of senior laden, and they got a lot of returning people back. And then there's some teams that are going to be playing a bunch of young kids, and you just don't know how quick those kids will develop.
Conference is definitely going to be a battle. Let's talk about the non-conference though. Some of the teams that you're playing outside of the EOAC that you're excited to test yourself against.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, our tip off, we got 4 teams in the tip off, us, Western Reserve, Salem, and Heartland. I'm hearing good things about everybody, scrimmage schedule and things. So it's going to be a nice balanced tip off tournament. And, that'll get a nice couple games in quick. Then everybody's jumping right into the league. The way this league schedule is, the boys being pushed back a week, the league schedule is kind of it's earlier than it should be, but it's fine. Everybody's going to jump in and start playing. I looked at some teams' league schedule or some of the teams' schedules the other night, and their first game is a league game. So, but we got those games, and then we got the big thing this year is we're going to Florida over Christmas break. I was just on a conference call before I got on with you. That schedule won't be released for another week or so, but it's crazy. There's, I don't know, 40 some odd boys teams there, and it's size small schools like us all the way up to the one school I saw had 3,200 kids in there, 9 through 12. So, hopefully we don't get matched up against them, but I'll have a better idea what we're going to be running against. I know the early release bio on the teams. I think there was 2 or 3 teams that were defending state champs and stuff like that. So, you go to events like that, you don't know what you're running into. You're at the mercy of the schedule, but it'll be a tremendous experience, and I'm sure it'll pay dividends for us as the season goes.
Who you're playing down there deciding, I mean, you have an experience like that. What does that mean for a team, especially in the middle of the season? You test yourselves, in the Christmas break, you get ready for January and February. What does a trip like that mean for your team, you think?
Oh, I think it's going to be exciting. I mean, it's kind of one of them ones that, you're going to be down there. You want your kids to have fun, but you're still down there. You got business, you got work to do. There's going to be 3 games of your 22, especially this year with the new max prep stuff and things like that. It's not like you can just, we're on vacation. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. You still want to go and compete and put the best out on the floor. But I think I've never done it before. I've never took a trip like this, so I'm hoping we don't come back and lay an egg in January and our first game back or something like that. But we'll see. Hopefully, our experience will carry through for us.
Coach, every time we have a coach interview, we like to give them the opportunity to highlight their coaching staff. I know you got a great one back there with you. I want you to go through your staff from middle school all the way up to the varsity assistants and talk about who you have helping you build this program.
Oh yeah, I mean, Quinn's the GOAT, man. He does so much for you guys, and he does so much for our program. I mean, I can't talk enough about him. And one of these days I'm going to lose him because somebody's going to give him that job that he wants, and he wants to lead his own program, and he's ready. He's ready, and I'm excited to watch him. Maybe take that step someday. Hopefully, it's not soon, and I can keep him around because he does so much for us. We don't really have a varsity assistant. It's just me and Quinn at the high school level. And then our junior high guys, Tim Myers and Jamie Wise, same guys we had last year. They do a good job. They're also, I think, football coaches and as well. And they kind of just keep things down a path. They've been to my practices. They see how we do things. They carry a lot of that down. So when the freshmen come in, they're not kind of caught off guard by anything. We keep moving.
When you talk about building the program, even before middle school, 7th and 8th grade, the younger kids, who are some people that really are intricate to helping you with those programs?
Oh, well, Quinn has our youth coordinator contract, and he kind of helps schedule all the practices and everything. And then I'm kind of the main league director for our youth league. That now we added kindergarten, first grade this year, so now it's truly a kindergarten through 6th grade league. and it's great. I mean, we have 180 teams in that league, and a high portion of those, I would say, guessing it's well over 100, are just in Columbiana County, and that's great. It's going to pay dividends off down the road as these kids continue to come up through the programs at their respective schools, and they get to junior high. They've already played 3 4 years, whereas maybe when I was young, we might have only played sixth grade or fifth grade, and then it was going to junior high. And we've really brought the rules along in that league as well to develop the kids so when they get to junior high, they've seen it all. And I truly feel that that'll pay dividends off, not just from our program here in Lisbon, but everybody's program in the area. And hopefully basketball can be a little bit better and we can make some noise in the tournament as a county. That's what we always want to do.
You and Quinn putting in the work for Lisbon. We love seeing it. You already said it. Quinn does a lot for us. Dude, we love our Quinn, and we love you guys too. So we can't wait for this season. Before we let you go, though, we're asking every coach this. This is kind of the theme of our season previews, and it's about the love of the sport of basketball. We love it as broadcasters. Obviously, the coaches love it. The players love it. For you personally, when did you find yourself kind of falling in love with the game of basketball?
Well, I think it was very early in my life. I mean, I didn't play football in school and basketball. I was kind of a basketball only guy, and anywhere I could find a game, it didn't matter. In the summers when I was working up in Cleveland, I would go to the playground and I'd find a game. And then through college, I played in college for a couple of years, and the game of basketball not only has just gave me so much as a person, and I've tried to give back to the kids, and it's sometimes it's bigger than basketball. Like you want to teach them life lessons and things like that, but the overall game of basketball, I can't talk enough how much it's gave me as a person and my family and everything else. I mean, that's all I do. I was an IT guy for almost 20 years. I got through the AAU circuit and the things I do. That's all I do. I run basketball tournaments all over the country. I tell people that I probably have one of the coolest jobs in the world. Do I have bad days? Yeah, everybody does. But the game of basketball and the opportunities that I've received from basketball, I could sit here and talk for 20 minutes and nobody's going to watch it. So we don't need to beat it anymore.
Coach, we would love that conversation one day, but today we'll let you get to practice. We thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck this year. We can't wait to talk to you in real soon.
Perfect. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, YSN.